All right, good morning. Hopefully everything's doing pretty good for you. Everything's going great. Thanks for coming in last week. I hope you watched that whole video because that was something interesting, I thought, to talk about. So now I've got this whole thing that I found about downtown Reno that's kind of interesting. There's a whole underground city, or at least that's the lore. But because they lowered the railroad tracks in Reno, and I don't know if that was a cover up or if that was just because they wanted to get traffic across and save themselves money from not having enough fire stations, or for not having to have a fire station on either side of the tracks in case a train was going when they had an emergency. But they dropped the train tracks in a trench and they covered it over with, concrete roofs and fans and all that stuff. And you come to Reno, you can see it. And the train station, the old train station, had a basement, so they're using the basement to access the trains. But when they were digging the hole, I distinctly remember they found tunnels and a whole cavern underneath a whole basement underneath the railroad tracks that they used back in the 20s and 30s when they had Prohibition. I don't know if this was all built for Prohibition, where they could, serve drinks in a speakeasy on one side of town and then get it to, then if they got busted by the cops or raided, all the patrons can run through the tunnels. I don't know if it was for moving stars and other people through the tunnels, or if there was just a whole underground industry going on there. But from what I'm finding out, that every building that was built in those days had a basement or a tunnel access. It either went under Virginia Street or it went up and south. So far as I can tell, the tunnels went from almost where McCarran Boulevard is all the way down to where the Cal-Neva's at, and they were all connected by underground tunnels. So that's where the underground city lore comes from. Now, it would have been great if they were using it for, speakeasies and during Prohibition, because that would have been good. Because you could serve alcohol in the Cal-Neva, and if you got raided by the cops, all the patrons and all the alcohol and all that stuff could go down through the tunnels and emerge someplace up Virginia Street, and the cops wouldn't even know they were there if they kept the entrance to the tunnel secrets, which they have for years. Go into those old buildings and you won't know it there unless you got down into the basement, and they're not letting you in the basement very easily, especially at those big casinos and or like the Cal-Neva or the Hilton. They're turning into something else, condos. I got to do a story on the condos downtown pretty soon too. I might do that today, I don't know. But the tunnels downtown were just basically holes that were about a little wider than a human. And they had rounded roofs, so they had the structure and bricks up and down across the roof. But you could go from, when the original buildings were there, you could go from building to building to building. And there are sections, according to the lore, there are sections where they just carved out a whole room under the ground and then put like a bar or something there, so you had to know somebody to get into this little section. It didn't have a building over the top of it. It was just a hole. It was just an underground cave. They had reinforced, put bricks and stuff to hold it up so it wouldn't collapse. And you could go down in there and party, and nobody could hear you because it was insulated all the way around. You could have the music, whatever they're listening to during Prohibition down there. Nobody could hear it. Very few people knew how to get into it. If they kept the secret from the police and the revenuers, you could go down there and have a drink, party, and nobody know you were even there. You'd be under fluorescent lights, of course. Wouldn't be a retreat. It'd be just someplace to go get drunk. And if they worked it out right, I'm just supposition here, but if they worked it out right, you got too drunk, you can go into all the way over to one of the hotels, like the Cal-Neva had hotels, go up, get put in a hotel room, sleep it off. Or, the old Harris building, or any of the old buildings that were right there that they've destroyed to put the new modern civilization on the top. They didn't care about the stuff on the bottom. When they built the new hotel casino there at the Row next to the Circus, they had tunnels they dug through, and a basement that was underneath the building that was there. And they had all kinds of things going back in the 20s, as far as I could tell in the history, because they had a whole black section. The original section of Reno, there's only one house left, but there used to be a whole bunch of houses down in the area now where they've got, great big hotels, and, they're taking and turning all those hotels into condos. And it kind of makes you think they're moving San Francisco to Reno, because all the gaming that was downtown on Virginia Street, because it used to be from the river to the freeway, was gaming. I mean, they took the old Mapes out at one time. That was the tallest building in the state of Nevada in its heyday, which would have been during Prohibition. That place was a luxury place. I got to look in it, walk in it when I was first moved here, because I was curious. They had an open house because they was trying to sell the building. I didn't get any photos, but I got to walk through it before they destroyed it to give us I don't know what they call it, but I call it Bum Park. They've got that stupid Believe sign in there trying to do the art town crap, which didn't work out. I mean, they've got art sculptures there, and they've got them all through town in the empty vacant lots, which are going to be taken out pretty soon for an apartment complex or a condo complex downtown. They're building that down there, which is destroying the value of downtown Reno there in that area. The only casinos that are going to be left would be the Cal-Neva and the three big casinos on the Row. All the rest of them have been taken out. And COVID didn't help at all, because some of the casinos, like the Horseshoe, and where they had the awful burger, or whatever they called it. There was old casinos there that were still actually coin operated. There were, down and around the corner in the alleys, they had dollar or penny casinos and all kinds of stuff, and all that's been taken out for this modernization. So that's going to be a whole nother video coming up. You'll know it. It's the San Francisco to Reno connections, what I'm going to call it. It'll be right there on top, or coming out when it comes out, and I'll definitely, let you know when it does come out. And I think I'm going to tell this science fiction story once a month. I think I'm going to record this science fiction story, because it's a difficult one to write a storyline for. And I think it's only going to be on this channel, so pay attention for that. That's coming up soon, because I've got, 3-4 videos coming out now. So the fifth one will be the science fiction story start, and then after that it'll be 3 or 4 more lore videos, and then when I get the script to go further with the series on the science fiction story, I'll just keep publishing them at least once a month. Like I said, these videos are coming out once a week, and they may not be the most entertaining or most interesting. Right now I'm doing the truck driving stuff to get that out of the way, so you guys can know who I am, or a little more about me. And I don't know why my nose is itching, but it is, which is probably not a good thing to be putting on video. But we're going to keep trying, and I'm going to keep posting this channel, and I've got the two other channels, the Bad Movie Reviews and the Northern Nevada Dispatch, which is more or less a news channel, and it talks about all kinds of crazy stuff and that's happening in the United States and in Reno. And we got to talk about that. So you guys take care. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And hopefully you leave me some comments so I can know if you're interested in hearing more about that subject that we talked about in the video. Anyway, take care. Bye now. Have a good rest of your week.
Oh, sun ain't up, but I'm wide awake. Got 1,000 miles of road to take. This 18-wheeler's my steel horse, you see, rolling down the road to set my spirit free. Through sleet and snow and pouring rain, got that diesel running through my veins. 'Cause it takes a lot of grit. Yeah, it takes a lot of grit. Oh, sun ain't up, but I'm wide awake. Got 1,000 miles of road to take. This 18-wheeler's my steel horse, you see, rolling down the road to set my spirit free. Through sleet and snow and pouring rain, got that diesel running through my veins. 'Cause it takes a lot of grit. Yeah, it takes a lot of grit.